about? Will you stop? That's just BS. Anybody who knows boxing, everybody who watches boxing knows that David Benavidez is the real deal. Now that doesn't mean he beat you, because anybody could fall if you catch him right. We know who you are, Canelo, you big time. But that ain't what America has been asking for. That ain't what the boxing world has been asking for. The boxing world, Canelo Alvarez, has been asking you to go in the ring against David Benavidez.
Stephen A. Smith has openly challenged Canelo Alvarez, accusing the superstar of making excuses to avoid the defining showdown with David Benavidez. Smith questions why Canelo continues choosing smaller opposition while refusing to face an undefeated knockout threat competing in his own weight class.
Undefeated, a knockout artist, has smoked everybody in his path. He's undefeated, and he's been asking for you. And oh, by the way, Canelo Alvarez, you could get $150 million for fighting David Benavidez. The Latino population alone will ensure that you get that fight. Yo! You don't get to say something like that. You don't get to say he's nothing, he's nothing, he's nothing. He happens to be a champion who's a knockout artist.
Smith highlighted what he sees as a clear contradiction in Canelo's recent choices. He points out that Canelo had no problem accepting a fight against a smaller opponent, yet appears unwilling to take on a dangerous contender like Benavidez. In Smith's view, boxing needs exactly these kinds of high-risk, high-reward fights.
You fought him. He fights at 154. You fight at 168, but you still got in the ring with him. Why won't you get in the ring with David Benavidez? Again, I'm not saying you lose. What I'm saying is there's a damn good chance you could. And if you could, that makes it for an epic fight. Everybody wants to see you against David Benavidez. Everybody. Don't do that to us. If you want to make him wait and say, I want to make this money, fine, even though you made gobs and gobs of money, and the contingent will follow you wherever you go because you that big time, you that box off.
When discussing Canelo's recent matchmaking, Stephen A. Smith argued that fans are tired of unnecessary rematches and less meaningful side bouts. He believes the champion should respect what supporters actually want and finally give Benavidez the opportunity to prove himself against him.
Oh, who was asking for that? Nobody cared about that fight. You getting ready to fight him? Go on. A lot of people ain't clamoring for that. When you decided to fight Charlo, people weren't clamoring for that. We want Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. And for respect for the sport, which I know you have, Canelo, I'm not accusing you of not having that. But for respect for the sport, at least talk about giving that Mexican monster, which is what Mike Tyson calls him.
Benavidez has also fired back at Canelo, accusing him of avoiding the matchup and suggesting that the champion's struggles against naturally bigger opponents explain the hesitation. David believes Canelo understands exactly how dangerous his combination of size, speed, power, and relentless pressure could become.
You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. But Canelo Alvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like the Wall, you know what I mean? And he's not able to suppress these fighters as much as he's able to suppress the little fighters. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop. You know, not only does he see speed, does he see power, but he sees a lot of heart in me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter because I know that.
Benavidez has taken the criticism even further, claiming Canelo already missed his best chance to fight him. As he enters his physical prime, David believes his technical development, confidence, and aggressive mentality have transformed him into an even more dangerous opponent than he was several years ago.
Took the fight with me way back then because if he had a chance to beat me, it would have been back then. He has no chance of beating me now, especially now. I'm getting all this confidence. You know, I'm stepping into my prime. You know, I'm able to deal with these bigger shows better. You know what I mean? I'm able to thrive in these shows. I'm able to, every time I fight, I'm always winning by a significant amount. You know what I mean? So I'm learning my craft better and better each and every single fight. I'm gaining more confidence every single fight. And Like I said, I really want to go in there and hurt people. I'm not a boxer. I'm a warrior, and I go in there, I turn.
Jose Benavidez Sr. has also attacked Canelo for allegedly avoiding genuine danger, while portraying his son as the kind of fighter who actively searches for the toughest challenges available. In his eyes, while other stars may prioritize comfortable paydays, David is prepared to test himself against the most difficult opposition.
Human. He wants to get, he don't want no tune-ups, he don't want easy fight. He wants the big boys, he wants the guys that are gonna challenge him and gonna bring danger. He wants to prove the people he's the best, and he will prove it, and he will look badass.
Benavidez Sr. continued by explaining why he believes his son presents such a difficult challenge. He pointed to David's explosive offense, physical strength, pressure, and versatility, arguing that Canelo already understands the threat standing in front of him and knows exactly why this fight would be so dangerous.
There's no ingredient, there's nothing to beat the Mexican monster. What I see, not me, even me, I'm impressed. I'm like, what the? How does he throw those punches like the Golovkin shots? How did he drop that hand and hit you? And then he's gonna do it again, but he changed it down. Uppercuts, everything, bro, footwork, defense, Right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see any danger for David Benavidez at 175 and at cruiserweight
Oscar De La Hoya has also gone after Canelo, accusing the superstar of damaging boxing by refusing to take major risks against elite opposition. De La Hoya rejected the idea that the sport itself is broken, arguing instead that the bigger issue is when established stars avoid the legitimate threats fans desperately want to see.
Boxing is broken, and why can't we fix this, and why can we fix that? And I'm thinking to my head, well, it's not the sport that's broken, because us promoters, managers, everybody involved in boxing, we want to make those big fights happen. But when you're a fighter that does not want to fight the top guys, then that's the problem. The fighters not having literally the balls to go up there and fight the toughest challenges, because maybe you might be protecting your O, maybe you're never scared, but you just don't want to face.
De La Hoya became even more critical when discussing the failed negotiations, claiming Canelo repeatedly prevented the Benavidez fight from becoming reality. He accused the champion of stepping away from serious discussions and using one explanation after another to avoid facing his most dangerous challenger.
And people, we've heard it over and over and over again, Benavidez calling out Canelo. Why didn't Canelo want to fight Benavidez? You have to ask that to Canelo. I have my answer.
You have to ask. You were trying to negotiate. You were trying to make that fight, right?
We couldn't get him to the table at all. Excuse after excuse. I mean, come on. Benavidez was chasing you for so...
Teddy Atlas has strongly questioned Canelo's hesitation to fight Benavidez, arguing that the Mexican star's enormous financial leverage gives him complete control over his career. According to Atlas, Canelo has every advantage outside the ring, yet his refusal to accept the challenge makes it appear that he simply doesn't want the risk.
I want to see it's what Canelo wants to see. I don't think he wants to see Benavidez. And I'm not knocking him. He's a great fighter, Canelo. He's the cash king. He's all that. I get it, although the heavyweights have been doing pretty good with their guys lately, especially with Mr. Turkey Alashik involved. But and deservingly so, the fights that they've been doing and putting on, Usyk and Fury and Dubois, everything. But I will say that, if anything, Benavidez didn't do himself any favors if he wants to be in the Canelo sweepstakes with that.
Atlas also criticized Canelo's most loyal supporters, arguing that they defend his matchmaking while ignoring the dangerous opponents he continues to avoid. He believes financial power and superstar status should never become excuses for repeatedly steering clear of the toughest available challenge.
The Canelo, maniacs out there, the pom-pom. Where's my pom-poms? I don't have the pom-pom. Pom-pom, okay. Peppermint. Canelo. Look, I think Canelo's great. I have nothing against him. He does get the advantage of picking his spots more than other guys because he brings the money. I understand that. But he does get the chance to avoid guys if he wants to. He's fought everyone too. He's fought a lot of good fights. I get the resume. He's tremendous. Please, You guys, do what you want to do. Take it the way you want to take it. But don't say that I don't respect him or that he's not a good fighter. He is. He's a damn good fighter. But he does pick his spots too.
Canelo Alvarez, however, has pushed back against the constant criticism, suggesting that many of the fighters calling for his name are simply chasing the huge payday attached to his popularity. He has defended his resume by pointing out that he already conquered the division and became undisputed while others failed to step up.
Every fight is calling me out, no? Obviously, they looking for the payday. No, it's a reason they always calling me out. But you know, when we are like both in 168, I fought every champion at the division. I say to myself, why he never fight those champions? And then if he was a champion at that point, I fight him because my goal was being on this.
Canelo has shown little interest in giving his critics what they want, dismissing the constant pressure for a Benavidez showdown. He maintains that those repeatedly demanding the fight are simply trying to benefit from his enormous profile and financial value.
No, it's just impossible. It's impossible. He can fight with the heavyweights. You know what I mean?
You're talking about him fighting Usyk, right?
Yeah. So, but you know, I understand why he's calling me out or they are calling me out. But
Mike Coppinger offered a warning during the discussion, explaining that consistently avoiding the biggest challenges can eventually damage how a champion is remembered. He noted that boxing history has a long memory, and fans often remember the major fights that never happened just as strongly as the victories that did.
We, the boxing fans, the boxing guys, going to take credit away from Canelo or Roy. And I think the answer to that is no. But what I think I'm talking about is when we talk about legacy, it's perception, it's public perception.
Okay.
I think about now the sad sight of seeing Roy Jones mocked by Joe Calzaghe. You know, do I think Jones would beat Calzaghe in their primes? Of course, but I can't take that memory out of my head.
That's a good point. But I'm going to keep the image of the Roy that I love to watching.
Susceptible. Max Kellerman also questioned the strategy of protecting an undefeated record or carefully managing a legacy through selective matchmaking. He argued that history shows these attempts can eventually work against a fighter, leaving fans to wonder whether the champion truly faced the best opposition available.
About Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran lost one non-title fight against Esteban de Jesus, who turned out to be a great fighter, on points. And then he avenged that loss twice by knockout to unify the lightweight title. Made 12 title defenses, fought like 10 non-title fights a year, was something like 70-something and won when he fought Sugar Ray Leonard in Sugar Ray Leonard's prime, 2 divisions above lightweight, and beat him, right? Now, at that point, Duran cemented his legacy. However, after No Mas, he lost to Kirkland Lang. He lost to Wilfred Benitez. Benitez you could lose to. Kirkland Lang you can't lose to with Roberto Duran. And when I told you that, hey, but Duran was so great that he wound up beating Iran Barkley at super middleweight and knocked him down in the fight of the year, that Duran was so great, he did X, Y, and Z. You're like, yeah, but he lost to this guy and that guy and that guy. No. That's the thing that people like you
it was more with
hold against them.
You gave me all these excuses. Right? I don't want to hear none of that.
Terrence Crawford and Joe Rogan added another perspective, focusing on the physical danger Benavidez would bring into the ring. Both have discussed the enormous size and pressure Benavidez could present, creating the impression that Canelo would be confronting a very different kind of challenge from the opponents he has recently faced.
For a long time was David Benavidez and Canelo. Like, everybody wants to see that fight, and they just can't figure out a way to make it happen. And you got to think someone's avoiding somebody, and it's not Benavidez.
No, not at all. You know, I just think Canelo, in a sense, he know how big Benavidez is gonna come in the ring. You know, Benavidez is a great fighter, you know, but he's a big fighter. He's a tall fighter, you know, and I just think Canelo knows, like, why would I want to get in the ring with this guy that's going to be massive come fight time, and I'm not that big.
They also examined how Canelo's previous experiences against bigger opposition may have influenced his willingness to take another massive risk. Their argument is that physical disadvantages and the lessons from difficult fights could be making the champion more cautious when considering a matchup with such a naturally imposing opponent.
This with my skills, because Canelo's not a big guy. He's been fighting big guys his whole career.
Yeah.
You know, and beating them with skill. You know, so you gotta tip your hat off to Canelo and what he's accomplished.
Absolutely.
Being 5'7", going up to 175 and fighting these big guys and actually winning and
knocked out Kovalev.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Kovalev later in his career, but he's still Kovalev.
For sure.
And then having the courage to fight Bivol in his prime.
For sure.
I think that's the fight that probably kept us from getting the Benavidez fight, the Bivol fight. Because I think after that fight, it's like, okay.
Yeah, this dude big.
This is a little big. Because Bivol, not just big, but he's got that Russian style, light on the feet, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Good boxer.
It's a difficult style to handle.
Yeah.
You know, and the only guy to beat Better Beef was another beast.
Yeah, so I think, you know, him knowing that, and then I think the disrespect that he got from Benavidez had persuaded him to go.
Roy Jones Jr. has also discussed the possibility that Canelo is deliberately waiting for the right financial conditions before accepting the fight. Jones recognizes that Benavidez possesses many of the qualities an established champion would rather avoid, making the matchup an enormous gamble regardless of the potential reward.
It's there for him for taking the fight. I mean, you know, of course, he's like any other champion. He wants to make you guys celebrate what y'all want to make us pay for it, which is smart. I don't think he's scared of Benavidez, but Benavidez is a tough order for anybody right now, especially if you're at the top of your game, because he's very busy, he's big, he's effective, he's aggressive. All the things you don't want in a fighter, David Benavidez is as an opponent, you feel me? So everything you don't want to see in your opponent, David Benavidez is. Now, does that mean you think he can't beat David Benavidez? No, but he wants to make sure that he makes you guys wait and ask and beg long enough that y'all will pay for it, then he'll take his chance. Because he knows too that it is a risky.
Jones Jr. also emphasized the psychological advantage that can come from facing a challenger who desperately wants the championship. Benavidez brings enormous hunger and motivation, and according to Jones, that kind of determined contender can create serious problems for an established star who has already achieved almost everything.
Should be, I ain't gonna say what fact is, but he should be a tad bit hungrier than Canelo for that spot. You understand? Canelo's been in that spot. David wants that spot. So it should be the hungry guy who has to still be careful because Canelo can punch. And you know, it is what it is, but he should be hungrier than Canelo. It's not just the fact of how hungry.
Tim Bradley took an even more personal view of the rivalry, arguing that pride should motivate Canelo to answer the challenge directly. In Bradley's opinion, a champion who repeatedly hears another fighter question his courage eventually has to settle the issue inside the ring rather than allowing the criticism to continue without a response.
He come from a fighting family. He ain't one of one. His people understand boxing. Canelo's people were supposed to understood boxing when he fought Floyd, but they didn't. Because if you understood boxing, you know to tell Canelo, whatever you do, you don't box Floyd Mayweather. You're not gonna beat him boxing. One of the greatest Mexicans of all time, who just the Chavez, could not box Roger Mayweather. He would have lost. So follow the blueprint. It's right there in your face. Y'all didn't. Y'all went out there and let him try to box. Yeah, he's 21, but we can't make the assumption that, oh, he was 21 when really. No. My favorite fighter of all time died at 22. He did so much. He had damn near 9 title defenses at 21 years old. Salvador Sanchez at 21 years old. We talking about Wilfredo Gomez, who's 27-0, 27 knockout. We talking about Danny Red Lopez, Patrick Ford, Zoe Nelson. We talking about Gillis, and he was 21 years old. Beat these dudes. So age is not the thing here. It's knowledge. They didn't send him into the fight with the right knowledge. So it's not about age for Benavidez, and any time right now is the wrong time to fight Benavidez because he's a hungry lion who throws a lot of punches, who we haven't really seen hurt yet, who has a very good gas tank, and who's big.
Jim Lampley highlighted the destructive threat Benavidez represents and suggested that Canelo's growing concern may also involve his relationship with the public. After building his reputation over many years, Canelo now faces criticism from fans who believe he is avoiding a dangerous challenge, showing that past accomplishments cannot completely protect a superstar from public scrutiny.
You don't even gotta be a Mexican, you just gotta be a man, right? If you got another man coming to your house, coming in your sport, whatever you wanna call it, bro, and he's calling your name. He's doing the same thing you doing. He's fighting, and you the guy. You the cash cow. You the face of boxing, and you don't answer that call, bro. That says something about you, man. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to stand up. You supposed to say, "Oh, really? Oh, you think you better than me? Okay." No, but you know, you get everybody. You know, he's proven enough. He's proven enough. I get it. He's proven enough. He has. He has proven himself enough. But Benavidez, man, Benavidez is disrespecting him. He's telling him to grow some balls. He's doing all of that, bro. And if you being Canelo Alvarez and you have any pride and dignity in you and your skills, I don't care. I don't care. Step up and face it.
Lampley also questioned whether Canelo's accomplishments have created a mindset where he feels entitled to choose the opponents he wants. He suggested that the real issue may be whether the champion still has the motivation to accept the single fight that fans around the world are demanding most.
Does he really have to keep proving himself over and over and over by taking the biggest fight available? Or should they pay him just to fight whoever he wants to fight because he's Canelo Alvarez? So, you know, that it's not out of the question that debate goes on in the back of his mind. Haven't I done enough? Shouldn't I get the right to fight who I want to fight? Why are they telling me I have to fight this guy who, you know, whatever he thinks of Benavidez, it isn't at this moment seemingly enough to make him say, I want to go straight to David Benavidez and fight the fight that everybody wants to see. Sometimes you don't want.
At this point, the Canelo-Benavidez debate has become bigger than contracts or money. It is now about legacy, risk, and whether a champion should accept the most dangerous challenge available. Benavidez represents exactly the kind of threat that could test everything Canelo has built, yet the window to make the fight continues to shrink. If the showdown never happens, fans may always wonder whether Canelo protected his legacy or avoided the greatest challenge of his later career. So what do you think? Is Canelo making the smart business decision, or would refusing Benavidez leave a permanent mark on his legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more boxing updates.